Welcome to Unselfishly Me, a podcast all about self-love, self-care, and everything in between. I'm Jane, a personal trainer with a focus on self-love. Each week, we'll be chatting to someone about their self-love journey, how long it took, and what it took to get there. Welcome to the Self-Love Club. I'm so excited to have you guys here. It is something that I've been planning for a long time, and I just needed to find the right way to package it and to put it on a platform. So it is finally here. Things take time, and the right thing always comes along. So I'm so excited to have you here with us, no matter what tier you're on. It is just such a sense of community, and I just love that I can help so many people at the same time. So every month, the second tier is going to have a webinar with one of my favorite people, and we get to learn and ask them questions. And it's just going to be something so amazing to create community and to help us all learn something new. So I'm going to be introducing you to them each week so that you can see who is going to be coming on. And I'm really excited to share these people with you. Each month is themed. So the guest who is on the webinar is going to be talking about their speciality in regards to the theme. So each month is going to be completely different, and it's going to just be something that is completely special, unique, and it's just going to be such a sense of community and of healing in regard to what they do as well. So I'm really excited about this collab. So welcome, Dani. She is going to be talking to us about astro. You guys know I'm so obsessed with astro because it really does play a huge part in your life, and you don't understand why. Often we think that we are a certain way, and you don't understand why we think that way or drawn to something, and it's usually literally written in your stars. So Dani has an amazing niche. She does everything, but my favorite niche for her is that she does it with your little babes. So it's all about you and your mother, and also how, if you are a mother, how you nurture your child, but also how you nurture yourself. So Dani's just going to explain a little bit about what we are going to be talking about when she does her Tier 2 community call.
Hi, Janie. Thanks so much for having me. I'm very excited about this whole club that you've started. And yeah, just generally excited to chat to people about astrology. And yeah, like you said, my focus at the moment is children, because I'm a young mom of two little babes, Luna and Lyndon. And it's just been so fascinating for me to see their charts and to understand them as individuals and to really understand their blueprint, really. So that's kind of where the inspiration came from. And then I started looking at my own charts, and I started thinking of the relationship with my mom and how I see her, and how my astrology affects her and vice versa. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm interested in and what I love talking about.
You're saying something, we were chatting just off air, and you're saying about the 7 years, the first 7 years, about the moon. So I think everyone always knows their star sign, so the sun, but they don't think about the moon and how that affects you. So I think it's so interesting that that is where they live, or we live in our first 7 years.
Yeah, so our first 7 years, children really live in their moon signs, and that's just because it's kind of they in touch with their rhythms and their flows and their feelings. Like, they're not so tainted by the world. So it's really the first 7 years that we live in our moon sign. So understanding your child's moon sign really helps you understand those years, but those are also the foundational years for the relationship with the mother figure. Like, it's not always a mom, but it's the nurturing role in your life. So that could be a dad or a grandparent or whoever, but it's the nurturing person in your life. And so those 7 years kind of also dictate how you then will nurture your children in the future, and also how you nurture yourself. So how you want to be nurtured by someone else, whether it's in a partnership or just in your self-care. So I think it's really important to understand yourself as well as your children, and as well as your mother's moon sign, because that's how she nurtured you.
Yeah. And I also think that for those of you that have lost your mother, maybe really young, or now or in the future, it's also nice to know where their signs are and how you can do a reading with you and see the characteristics, and especially if you've lost your mother young, and you kind of feel that void where you don't understand yourself a little bit, and then you don't have her to speak to or ask these things or understand why you're feeling a certain way towards her. You can kind of do her chart as well, and then see what your mom's moon and sun are in and that kind of thing, and see how
exactly
how you you're missing this link and you're missing this part of you and you have never really found the answers. I think that's really powerful as well.
That's exactly it. And it's interesting because people always say, how can your moon sign represent your mom when, like, she was born 30 years before you and whatever. And the link is that your relationship is formed by two people. So for instance, my moon sign is in Pisces. And so every interaction I had with my mom in those first 7 years colored her reactions towards me. So it's actually my mom is not Piscean. Like I'm Piscean. And so it's the way I view her reactions to me. It's also what I bring out in her. And that's a really interesting kind of dynamic. And again, interesting to see your own children. So both my kids have their moons in Libra, and like I've got no Libra in my charts at all. But their personalities change the way I respond to them and what they need. So you actually are shaping your relationship with that nurturing parent without even knowing it.
Wow. I like when I didn't know that you could do these things, and then I saw your account come up, obviously, because we're Instagram friends. And then I saw that. I was like, it's so fascinating. And it makes so much sense. When you actually see it, you're like, oh my word. That is exactly how I feel. And that's exactly how I grew up and how I felt about my mother, or how I viewed her and how I viewed her feelings about me.
Yes.
Second child problems, you're like, oh, he's the favorite, not me, things like that, like silly.
Yes.
And it really does make a difference. When I was reading through that stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, that is exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I am the Leo I am, because I was like, I need to just be seen. When you're the second child, you feel like you're not seen as much as the first child.
Well, Janie, I don't think that's a second child thing. I think that's a Leo moon thing. But it's exactly that. So it's super interesting, and I think it's valuable I think it gives you compassion as well. I think it gives you compassion towards your children or your mother, and most of all to yourself, to just go like, okay, I'm Leo. That's why I have this intense need to be seen all the time.
You're like, I'm not actually just an attention seeker. It's literally in my DNA. I can't help it. Other people always like, oh, you're just so full of yourself. The usual things. You're so bossy. You're so full of yourself and all this stuff. And you're like, oh, no, I'm not.
Hence why you started a self-love club and owned it all.
Trying to help other people feel more in the spotlight. No, just also focus on themselves. That's the thing. I shine a spotlight on others, even though so I'm super excited. I think there's a lot of mother healing that needs to go on for everyone, whether you had an amazing relationship with your mother or have an amazing relationship with your mother. I always think there's something, with every family member or friend, there's always something that we all need to work on or heal with things, and that have affected us even from childhood, and it might be subconscious and you don't even know what it is. But I think the mother healing aspect is really important for us, and to heal ourselves so that we can be whole and go forward through life, even if you're not having a child. But if you do have a child, you heal that aspect within you so that you don't carry it on and pass it down to them, like those thoughts and feelings.
100%. You don't have to be a mom to be interested in stuff. I think the main element is the self-nurturing, and to understand that if your moon sits in Pisces, your self-nurturing is going to look very different from somebody whose moon sits in Aries, and the way you process emotions and feelings, it's just like it's just a permission slip to like feel the things you need to feel. But it's often much easier when somebody says it to you and tells you that it's okay, and it's often a lot easier to then delve into those practices.
Yeah, it's the permission, exactly, because you could be reading it or someone else could have told you, especially like a close family member, but as soon as it's someone from the outside telling you, then it's easier to listen and believe in it.
Exactly.
Yay, I'm so excited for this. And everyone who's going to be joining, if you're joining tier 2, you get to see this beautiful face and learn all of the things to heal. And we'll just keep all the information coming, and I can't wait to sign you all up.
Yay, I'm excited.
Thanks for listening to Unselfishly Me. Follow us on Instagram at unselfishlyme, and check out our website www.unselfishlyme.com.